stream of the week. Hope everybody's doing well. And just get right into it. If you haven't yet, go ahead and please follow the 5XL to stay up to date on everything going on over there, including news, entertainment, and a lot of big things on the way from everybody over there. Um, to get right into it, this week, Venus kind of went into retrograde in Capricorn, and it also is the start of Capricorn season, I believe yesterday. So it is officially the birthday season. So if you're a Capricorn, let them know. um, Getting right into it though, we're gonna move through these themes over the next week just to kind of remember to stay grounded and stay within our own authenticity. I know that the holidays are right around the corner, and since I haven't said it yet, let me say it now. Season's greetings, happy holidays, remember the reason, and remember behind the reason, there's other reasons that we all celebrate, so it's important that we honor and value tradition and nuance wherever we see it in any way, shape, or form, and enjoy the time that we have here with each other while we have time here with each other. Moving into the energies for the day is pragmatic wisdom, which is the sun in Capricorn, is going to be shining down on all of the signs as a reminder to approach things with practicality, with precision, planning, and looking for execution that is going to require a lot of forethought before just haphazardly going into things or going on somebody else's cues and looking for yourself through their vision. It's important to have your own feet on the ground and to understand why you want to move forward in that direction. Sun in Capricorn also gives us the drive to put all that we know into practice. Today and the past few days, I personally have been crushing it, and it's got a lot to do with what's unseen and what's not spoken about, and that's really where the energy of Capricorn shines. Is are you putting in the work where nobody can see and becoming the product of your own respect for yourself, the own discipline that you owe yourself, and the practices daily that are going to lead you to what you want to see for yourself in the future. So just know that everything, if you're feeling skeptical, or it's not really so much skepticism, it's you're now looking at things through that pragmatic lens, and you're finding the steps and putting it together in such a way that's a lot more cerebral than just, sure, that sounds good, let's just go with that. It's not so much intuition right now, it's much more logic based. Moving right into the energy of mentally sharp, which is our Mercury conjunct the natal sun. So again, we are thinking much more profoundly today, and we will throughout the rest of the week. You know, the holidays are happening, and a lot of planning goes into that, and so that's just another, proof in the pudding type of expression. But that's just another way for us to say, okay, we've have everything thought out meticulously, and everything should go out with a hitch. We know where to seat everybody. We know who's coming. We know when to be there. Like, all of these things are very logical ways of approaching and interacting with the world. So be very aware that you may also need to practice a little destructive behavior. And I don't mean that, let me just bring it back. I don't mean that you need to act destructively, but there is something to be said. If you're not comfortable with the situation, or you're not comfortable with somebody that's going to be where you're planning to be, then you need to be okay with shutting it down. And it's okay to shut it down if that's something that's going to help you to be the most authentic to your holiday experience and just experience in general. You should be well within your rights to say, I'm not going to participate in something where I know that I'm going to be asked questions and I don't know if I want to give answers, and I don't know if such and such is going to even be happy to see me. So it's something to be said to, like, again, behind the scenes stuff. I know it's very logical right now, and so you should definitely be answering those cues. But again, don't forget the fact that you're still your own person, and the way that you feel about things is a guidance system. So if you are feeling a certain way about going and spending time with people or even family that you feel just kind of doesn't resonate with your life slash lifestyle, and or your views, beliefs are just so contrasting that you know that it's two bulls coming to a head eventually, and why make it the holiday table? Then act on that, and again, use your logic to create other plans. And the people that you do want to see, take the action to be there for them in other ways, sending cards, voice calls, that kind of thing. But again, that goes back to the destructive actions that we take. It's not necessarily always a bad thing to shut it down and say, I'm not doing this. We're shutting it all down. So if you need to, you're well within the energetic environment that you can. Heightened imagination is also at play. So again, it's the holiday season and you're probably getting ready to have guests over. So it's time to really, like, just let your mind go at play and don't be so serious. And if you are going into an arena where you know that politics will be spoken of volatilely, religion will be spoken of volatilely, then have the common sense to precursor that and go into it with saying, okay, I know that this is what's coming. How can I be creative and flow with the energy versus be a victim of it? So again, you're much more handy mentally than you can probably give yourself credit for. A lot of us are. So just know that that's within you, and that energy is heightened as well. Also, that creative energy really goes a long way for the holidays specifically, because again, it's a heightened stress to have to produce gifts at this time, because it's been conditioned within us that this is the time to gift give. So pull out some construction paper, make your cards from scratch, do it from recyclables, do it, with old tin cans, I guess is how my grandma used to do it. But do whatever you do. Go pick some flowers and stuff and throw that together for somebody. It doesn't matter how much it was. It really doesn't. We're not in that paradigm anymore. Nobody's really concerned with the price tag of something. It's really the consideration behind it. And so just go forward and know that any kind of creative energy you put into something, it can actually probably be more heartfelt than something that came from a department store. And on the note of department stores, remember to shop small this season. Self-expression is in the air. And again, this is something that can go either way. So for those of us who want to tell those how much we love them, how much we've missed them, how have you been, that's expressive in a wonderful level, rising vibrational awareness kind of good, putting out the good. On the opposite end, again, volatile religious people, volatile political people, this can be an opportunity where they are like, okay, I can finally have an audience and these people are going to listen to me. So just be very aware with the time and the energy that you're trying to give to the family. You can give it both ways. So again, just be very aware of your personal okayness with everything. And I probably am pushing that to the furthest degree, but it's so important to not go through these traumatic experiences with family if you know that they're coming? Why would you put yourself in that position in the first place? So if you are, be ready to wear that armor and be ready to walk in there and just do your thing and be present. And if you've already, beelined, then just put it out there that there is love and make sure that they know that you're expressing that you do love them, that they are missed, and that they are important and very special to you. To any of my family watching this, you're valued, you're important, you're special. I actually got a very good card from a relative of mine that it's exactly these things that are difficult to stay as connected as I wish I could with them. But just the fact they sent me something, and I'm not going to say who, but the fact they sent me something, it really made my day. It made me profoundly happy. And I'm just going to leave it at that because that's really the smallest act. And it wasn't money, it wasn't a gift card, it was just a small Christmas card. Simple. So, the end of Sagittarius, the sun in Sagittarius, tells us it's time to broaden our horizons. So, at the end of this solar year, remember, you should be looking up and beyond anything you've ever done. Again, this new paradigm is more than just looking at how we've been living. It's assessing and analyze how we're going to live and the actions we're going to now partake in and the protection of our own personal value over the monetization of those values and the having of things. So when you are looking at this year ahead and you're making your resolutions, do not limit yourself. There is so much fertile ground that is coming from so much turmoil, like the heaviest destruction that we've just gone through is now turning over into this wonderful canvas of potential. That's not to say that I want to say numb to everything going on that we've gotten here. There's definitely honor in everything that is led up to this moment. But know that from this moment, your priorities have got to be different than this time last year. Those resolutions need to be that much more concrete than this time last year. And I'm saying that not so aggressively. I'm saying it more to encourage because I'm sure that they already are. And if you are playing by the book and doing your due diligence, and that's not by anybody else's standards, that's by your standards that you set up, then you can follow that inner voice and that inner dialogue to a much, much higher state of quality living. I'm not only exercising, I'm not only really watching my diet strictly, I'm also trying to find new groups of spiritual people to kind of just commingle with. I went to a sound bath yoga experience and it was really wonderful. And part of me was very, like I said, part of me was very like, okay, why is this a thing? What is this actually doing for me? I have a full-on history as an LMT, but I had to really say this is for me. This is not for me to criticize. This is something that I'm giving to myself. And so once I let loose and I was finally able to just relax there on the floor and listen to the woman's voice as she, told us to go from one pose to another. And they had the sound healing bath going. It just became this beautiful moment for myself. And so I encourage anybody watching this, start seeking those new environments that have those characteristics of the person you're aspiring to be. That's not to say that you need to ditch everybody. Okay, it's not to say that people that are in other environments are less vibrationally, there. It's just to say that you now need to coddle and give yourself those new environments that are calling out to you. Because otherwise, you're just going to be another person occupying space in the decaying system. And there's new people finding those as well. So just remember, you should always be changing it up. It's okay to change. Death by comfort zone is a real thing. And not doing something because that's just not who you are is, you know, the biggest dismissal of our authentic self. And I really hope that in this new year, we can rise to the occasion of changing everything about ourselves. Everything. Because it's not working anymore, any of the old stuff. Any of it. So that's the last note I have to say with the sun ending in Sagittarius. Broaden those horizons and broaden them wide. The moon transits through the day were a huge release of tension this afternoon and some emotional confusion following. So just be very aware that you could be feeling some emotional turmoil throughout the afternoon and going into the evening. Again, try to find those safe practices. If it's a beer and that's just what you do, then try to meditate while you drink that beer. Or have that shot or smoke that joint or whatever it is you do to calm down. Add some meditation or try some yoga while you're doing it. I mean, what's funnier than drunk yoga? Planetary everything going on right now is Venus is in Capricorn and she's posted up, which is this huge evaluation that is taking place with our relationships. Like I was saying earlier, we're wanting to find, myself specifically, but I'm sure that the energy is coalescing throughout, the collective consciousness, that who are we hanging out with? Are those really our people? And I really have spent the past month, I think, truly investigating the energetic background of friends, colleagues, familiars, you know. So, everybody that I know that I want to be hanging out with is in my life right now. And if you're not, again, this is not to say that there's anything to do with worthiness, because trust me, I struggle with worthiness. But the repetitiousness of certain people and having to play out the dialogue over and over and over to the point where neither of us are moving forward. That's the true need to move forward past. And that's the true calling to move forward past. And to say, I wish you well. I wish that you find whatever it is this loop is bringing you around to. My dog is asleep and he's yelping. I hope that you find whatever it is that you are aspiring to. But I have a calling and I need to get there. And there's no... It shouldn't feel like a breakup. If it feels like a breakup, then you've already crossed a boundary. You've already invested too many energetic knots into somebody when you feel like, oh God, they're leaving, and now you're feeling sad or relieved or whatever. There should never be that many ties to anybody. If there is, then it probably is romantic, and all the more reason to have these energetic evaluations. Where am I at? Where are they at? Am I loving them? Am I contributing to their life in a practical way? Are they contributing to my life in a practical way? And you have to really look at what that means. Practicality. It's not romance. It's not flowers and poems and baby, I'll be here till whatever. You're my ride or die. Posting pictures together with inspirational quotes. It's, can I depend on them when I need some backup? And when I'm not 100, are they going to be my 75? Like, you have to really, like, know your worth in contrast to where people are engaging you. And when they do engage you, is that worth being validated, or is it passively becoming something you're giving without validation? And on the flip side of that, are you taking passively without validating them, the other person? Oral vampires are something that's very kind of uncomfortable to talk about because it's so quick that we will think of somebody, and I see way too many posts saying get the negative people out of your life, and they're there for a reason. You're a mirror. If there's an oral vampire in your life and you're kicking with them one on one, guess what? You have some accountability to hold yourself to. Because what were you doing that you invited them in so easily? That now you gotta label them and cast them out like a demon? No, 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 no. That's not how it works. You have to look at yourself, cast yourself out of the situations that make you attract the demonic side of people. And I know that's a little heavy, so I'm going to bring it back a little bit and use different words. Those parts of people that bring out the worst in you is the reason that you both are culturing negative energy and why you've become negative people in each other's lives. At that point, it's again gone too far. You have too many knots emotionally, energetically tied to this other person. And that becomes harder and harder over time to undo. So, with Venus retrograde in Capricorn, you have the groundedness right now until the end of January. Because she's posted up. She's kicked her feet up. I don't want to hear nothing till Valentine's Day type mode. So it's not romance right now. It's what would I do for you and what would you do for me? And how are we going to build something together? It's enterprise relationship time. And if all you got is feelings, then that's all they're ever going to be. Until you start looking for those commitment vibes. For those long-term vibes. Like, it's not words. You have to push beyond that with action. So I hope that this retrograde in Capricorn, and it's not just romance either, I hope that you are truly looking at these relationships that can potentially possess you and make you completely turn a blind eye to a lot of BS, including the dismissal of your own goals and action that's brought you to this point. And you can say, look, I need to save myself. And in order to save myself, I need to dismiss this relationship. It's that powerful right now. Anybody in your life that you need to have that conversation with, right now is the time to have that conversation. All right, that's all I have to say about Venus retrograde in Capricorn. End of Sagittarius is today. We're moving into Capricorn. Mercury's in Capricorn. So again, this deep wisdom, this reservoir of wisdom, this deep rooted knowledge that you have because you've been through this so many times over and over again. Start using that. It's okay to look at something and say, that's BS and I'm not going there. It's also okay to look at something and say, you know what? This is really inspiring. This is really invoking in me some kind of like want to help. So I'm going to move forward with that. So just watch the energy and know when to evaluate the relationship. The illumination today is in Leo, so we want to do things like breathing exercises. This is still the moon, the illumination of the moon. We're in Leo. And we want to breathing exercises, back stretches, anything for that chest, because Leo is the roar, that inner roar. So, yeah, definitely have your voice ready. Because, again, we're going to have to go into these holidays fully prepared to, one, love each other, but also stand our ground. I know. Being a human being is such a paradox. I love it. I'm gonna pull this last card. I'm gonna pull this card. The last thing I'm gonna talk about, and that's forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. That is so important. You know, as we move into this new year, and I've seen it in clients, I've seen it in friends. The age of the guru is over. I don't know how many times during my early spiritual awakening when I was just looking for somebody to tell me how to access my spiritual side. And it's always been there. It was when I found myself in spaces where I could openly talk about spirituality and give testimony of spiritual events in my life that I finally was able to have that inner dialogue with myself and give myself the validation of being spiritual. So look at this woman. So much under her, so much in front of her, and she's just dancing toward it. Today's date, 12/20/2021. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 2 and 1. That's the beginning of a next huge cycle of security, of feeling safeguarded. Practice daily action that has standards. And you'll get somewhere worth being. The choice is always ours. And I may talk a big game, but that's because I hold myself to these standards. And this year, it's all the more important that I have to let go of more of my own repetitious behavior, on top of as much repetitious behavior as I gave up the year before. Because I really want to level up. And if you're listening to this, that means that you want that level up. You don't have to listen to this to know that you want that level up. It's innate in all of us to want that level up. The way that this woman's dancing toward it, we should not be running and working tirelessly toward our dreams. They can become a wonderful musical act that we just sort of sway and approach once you get the rhythm of positive action. I'm going to go quiet for a moment, and I'm going to let anybody watching just resonate on this image. and think about what you're dancing toward. Is it a project? Is it a new family? Is it a new family member? Is it a new relationship? Is it a new sense of awareness? A new diet? Or just loving yourself a little more than you did this last year and giving yourself a break? Dance toward that. So much wisdom in you. You're a very wise and wonderful person. So act on that. All right. That concludes the light stream. And like I said, I still play video games, but I do that mainly over on Twitch now. It's Eternal Kiss. You can always find these re-records on my YouTube at Saturnal Kiss. It's Saturn, like the planet, AL, and then Kiss. It's there on the bottom somewhere. And other than that, all I have to say is remember to go follow the 5XL. Have a great holiday, everyone. You're going to survive. And I'll see you next week. All right. Peace out.